Each day we're faced with an ethical issue, whether it's cheating on our taxes or sneaking food into the movie theater. But are these things really unethical? Here to answer our questions, Professor of Journalism at Emerson College and an ethics expert, Jeffrey Seglin. It's good to see you this morning.
Good to see you.
We're glad you could come in.
Thank you. Good to
and
be
you
here.
told me automatically, just because you teach it doesn't necessarily mean you have it.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to repeat that.
Oh, okay. All right, let's get to our questions, shall we? I think this is a lot of fun. Selling products on eBay can make you a lot of money for your old things. But is it ethical to mark up the shipping costs almost 100%, even though you're selling your items at a very low price?
Well, here's the thing. I think that with eBay, everything's disclosed. So as long as they've disclosed what their shipping charges are, then it's ethical. It's transparent. Is it smart? No. I mean, I imagine that people will go through and they'll see the shipping charges, and
Sure.
they have to be idiots to go with the guy that charges 100% markup. So you have to ask yourself, is it just a smart business thing? In that case, as long as it's disclosed and the people are saying what they're doing, it's out there.
Wouldn't you say, Jeffrey, sometimes ethics is based, some things are black and white, and some things are based on what you can live with?
Well, I think that's it. I think also the thing is that, there's also these competing things that go on. You have to think about what the implications of your actions are in various groups of people.
Absolutely. So, all right, let's get to question number 2. Giving false information to pollsters or online surveys, does that really matter?
Well, you think about it. There's this whole thing about the Bradley effect, which was Tom Bradley out in California when he ran for governor. He was mayor of Los Angeles at the time, and people thought he was going to win because people told pollsters they were going to vote for him, but he happens to be a black man. Yeah. And when they got into the polls, they didn't vote for him. So now we have this Bradley effect, which becomes elevated now because of Obama running for president. I think it does matter. I think that it's not ethical to lie. So the question of is it ethical to not tell pollsters the truth? Why tell them anything if you don't want them to know? It's easy enough just to say, I don't want to answer, than to lie. So essentially what people like Rush Limbaugh do with his, Project Chaos or Chaos Theory or whatever he's doing is unethical. I mean, it's telling people to lie when they could just basically say nothing. So if you have the choice between saying nothing and lying, the ethical thing to do is to say nothing.
I think that one's pretty black and white. All right, here's our third question. This guy stops in front of my house, goes through my recycling bin, then he takes my 5-cent cans. Is that right?
Just the cans, not the bottles?
Well, I guess he could take the bottles, too.
I think the different municipalities have different rules on this. So some of this is legal, and often there's a difference between legal issues and ethical issues. So if it's legal to do it, it doesn't always make it ethical. But basically, in most municipalities, you have the right to let anybody go through your recycling and take whatever you want because it's your trash, it's your recycling. And when I write about this for the column I write, this one gets, on trash or recycling, tends to get the most response because people are outraged because a lot of that money is used to fund the recycling programs, and so it goes back into it. But there's nothing wrong with someone going through recycling once it's out there.
All right.
There's nothing ethically wrong with it.
This is question number 4 now. I use my laptop while I'm on the road. I think it's okay to use others' wireless connections. Is this a breach?
This is another one where the wireless technology community hates me for saying this, but I think the responsibility is on the person whose wireless connection it is to set it up to have a password. If you set it up easy enough to set it up to have a password to be able to get in, you should do that as the owner of the wireless signal. If I'm driving by and I see a wireless connection and it's open and and I want to get online, I don't think there's anything ethically wrong with that. I think it falls upon the person whose connection it is to secure that. That doesn't mean you can go in and try to search for all these people's sites and get all their information, but I think it falls on the person whose wireless connection is to take that initiative.
It seems to me this is another one of those, it's how you can live with yourself. If you don't feel that you're stealing someone's services out there, then so be it.
People will say, then why isn't it okay to go into somebody's house when it's unlocked? And I think there's a difference. I think that there's a difference because it's easy enough to set up a password protection for doing that, and I think people should if they're really concerned about it.
Sure. They're telling me that unfortunately we're out of time, so we can't do more questions, but let me ask you one final question. If I am someone who is trying to determine if something is ethical or not, again, what's the standard?
I think the thing is most people think it's black and white, and it's really not for most things. Most things fall in that gray area. I think people should think about what's the implication of my actions on other people, on the community and on other people, and if they think about what that is for a moment, they then tend to think about things differently.
Sure. All right. Well, Jeffrey, thank you very much. It was great fun to have you here.
Nice being here.
Some great answers as well.